Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria. His father, Alois, was a strict customs official. His mother, Clara, was a kind woman who doted on her son. Hitler's childhood was marked by frequent moves and a difficult relationship with his father. Young Adolf dreamed of becoming an artist. He spent hours sketching and painting, yearning for a life filled with creativity. However, his aspirations were met with resistance. His father wanted him to pursue a practical career, leading to clashes between the two. Despite his artistic inclinations, Hitler struggled academically. He performed poorly in school, displaying little interest in most subjects. His only solace remained art, but even that passion would soon face a significant setback. Twice, Hitler applied to the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts, and twice he was rejected. The rejections devastated him, crushing his artistic dreams and leaving him adrift. He found himself in Vienna alone and without direction. Vienna in the early 1900s was a melting pot of cultures and ideologies. For Hitler, it would become a crash course in the dark side of human nature. He scraped by, selling postcards and paintings, often to tourists. During these years, Hitler developed a deep interest in German nationalism. He frequented cafes, immersing himself in political discussions and absorbing the rhetoric that swirled around him. He developed a deep hatred for the Austro-Hungarian Empire's multi-ethnic makeup, which he perceived as a threat to German identity. It was in Vienna that Hitler was exposed to the anti-Semitism that would later define his political career. He readily accepted the prejudiced views prevalent in the city, blaming Jews for various social and economic ills. His hatred festered, fueled by his own frustrations and the pervasive anti-Semitic propaganda of the time. The Vienna years were a period of profound transformation for Hitler. It was here that the seeds of his hateful ideology were sown, shaping his worldview and setting the stage for his disastrous rise to power. The outbreak of World War I in 1914 was a pivotal moment in Hitler's life. The war's eruption created a seismic shift in the political and social landscape of Europe, and for Hitler, it was a call to arms that he could not ignore. He volunteered to serve in the German army, eager to prove his loyalty to the German nation. This decision marked the beginning of his transformation from a failed artist to a fervent nationalist. The military provided him with a sense of purpose and direction that he had been desperately seeking. The horrors of war left an indelible mark on him. The relentless bombardments, the sight of fallen comrades, and the constant threat of death were experiences that would haunt him for the rest of his life. These brutal realities of the battlefield forged a hardened and unyielding character within him. He served as a dispatch runner, experiencing the brutality of trench warfare firsthand. This role required immense bravery and resilience as he navigated the treacherous no-man's land to deliver crucial messages. The perilous nature of his duties only deepened his resolve and commitment to the cause. He witnessed unimaginable violence and endured the constant threat of death. The ceaseless gunfire, the screams of the wounded, and the omnipresent fear of gas attacks were daily reminders of the war's relentless cruelty. These experiences would become the bedrock of his later beliefs and actions. These experiences would profoundly shape his worldview, deepening his belief in the power of force and the righteousness of his cause. The war taught him that might often makes right, and this lesson would become a cornerstone of his ideology. He began to see himself as a man destined to lead and reshape Germany. Despite the horrors he witnessed, Hitler seemed to thrive in the chaos of war. The camaraderie among soldiers, the shared sense of mission, and the adrenaline of battle gave him a sense of belonging and purpose that he had never experienced before. It was in this crucible of conflict that his ambitions began to crystallize. He was awarded the Iron Cross for bravery, a testament to his courage under fire. This recognition not only boosted his confidence, but also solidified his belief in his own destiny. The medal became a symbol of his valor and a reminder of his commitment to the German cause. The war provided him with a sense of purpose and belonging he had never known before. The bonds he formed with his fellow soldiers and the shared hardships of the trenches created a brotherhood that he cherished deeply. This sense of unity and common cause would later influence his political strategies. However, Germany's defeat in 1918 devastated Hitler. The armistice and the subsequent Treaty of Versailles were seen as humiliations, and he felt a deep sense of betrayal. The loss shattered his dreams of a victorious Germany and left him searching for someone to blame. He felt betrayed by the government and convinced that Germany had been stabbed in the back by Jews and communists. This belief in a conspiracy against Germany became an obsession, fueling his hatred and driving his future actions. The post-war chaos and economic hardship only intensified his resolve to find scapegoats for Germany's suffering.
Welcome.
His hatred intensified, solidifying into a dangerous obsession. He began to channel his anger and frustration into political activism, joining groups that shared his nationalist and anti-Semitic views. His speeches grew more passionate and incendiary, attracting followers who resonated with his message of blame and retribution. He emerged from the war a changed man, bitter, angry, and determined to restore Germany to its former glory. The experiences of the war and its aftermath had transformed him into a fervent nationalist with a clear, albeit dangerous, vision for the future. This was the beginning of his rise to power, a journey fueled by the traumas and lessons of the Great War. Section 4. The making of the Nazi Party. In the aftermath of World War I, Germany was in turmoil. The Treaty of Versailles had imposed harsh penalties on the nation, leading to widespread resentment and a sense of humiliation among the German people. Defeat had brought economic hardship, political instability, and deep social divisions. Hyperinflation ravaged the economy, making everyday goods unaffordable and savings worthless. Unemployment soared, and many families struggled to survive. It was in this cauldron of discontent that Adolf Hitler would find his following. A former soldier, Hitler was embittered by Germany's defeat and the conditions that followed. In 1919, he joined the German Workers' Party, or DAP, a small fringe group with nationalist and anti-Semitic views. The party was insignificant at the time, but Hitler saw potential in its ideology. It was a small step that would have enormous consequences. Hitler's involvement with the DAP marked the beginning of his rise to power. He quickly rose through the ranks, his powerful speaking skills and charisma captivating audiences hungry for change. His speeches were filled with promises of restoring Germany's former glory and finding scapegoats for the nation's problems. Hitler transformed the DAP, renaming it the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party. He rebranded the party with new symbols, slogans, and a clear, aggressive agenda. He crafted the party's platform, appealing to nationalist sentiments, promising economic recovery and scapegoating Jews and communists for Germany's woes. This message resonated deeply with a population desperate for solutions. The Nazi Party, under Hitler's leadership, quickly gained notoriety. Their rallies grew larger and their propaganda more pervasive. Hitler's speeches drew ever larger crowds, his message of hate and resentment resonating with a population reeling from war and economic hardship. His ability to tap into the fears and frustrations of the masses was unparalleled. The Nazi Party offered a sense of hope and belonging, albeit one built on dangerous illusions and hateful ideology. For many, it was a chance to be part of something greater, to reclaim a sense of pride and purpose in a time of uncertainty. Section 5. The Beer Hall Putsch, a step back, a leap forward. Emboldened by his growing popularity, Hitler attempted to seize power in 1923 in what became known as the Beer Hall Putsch. This was a bold and audacious move, reflecting his increasing confidence and the fervor of his followers. The plan was to overthrow the Weimar Republic and establish a new government under his control. The attempt was a disaster. The poorly planned coup quickly fell apart, leading to a violent confrontation with the police. The streets of Munich were filled with chaos and bloodshed. The putsch failed miserably, resulting in the deaths of several Nazi Party members and Hitler's arrest. This marked a significant setback for the Nazi movement, casting doubt on its future. He was tried for treason and sentenced to 5 years in prison. The trial was highly publicized, drawing attention to Hitler and his ideas. Although he only served 9 months, his time in prison proved to be a turning point. It was during this period that he wrote Mein Kampf, his infamous autobiography and political manifesto. In this book, Hitler outlined his twisted worldview, detailing his plans for Germany's future. The book became the Nazi Party's Bible, spreading his hateful ideology far and wide. The beer hall putsch, though a failure, had inadvertently given Hitler a platform to broadcast his message to a wider audience. His trial and subsequent imprisonment transformed him into a martyr for the cause, further solidifying his hold on the Nazi Party. While in prison, he meticulously planned his return, determined to seize power through legal means, never again resorting to brute force. This strategic shift marked a new phase in his rise to power, one that would eventually lead to his domination of Germany. The failure of the beer hall putsch was a pivotal moment in Hitler's political career. It taught him valuable lessons about the importance of strategy and the need to gain popular support. This experience, combined with his time in prison, set the stage for his eventual rise to power. The lessons learned from the failed putsch and his subsequent imprisonment were instrumental in shaping Hitler's future tactics. He emerged from prison more determined than ever, with a clear plan to achieve his goals through political maneuvering and propaganda, rather than outright rebellion. Section 6. From Chancellor to Führer, the grip of power. The 1920s saw Germany's fragile democracy tested by economic depression and political instability. The Nazi Party, fueled by Hitler's rhetoric and the desperation of the masses, saw its popularity soar. They exploited the prevailing sense of fear and uncertainty, promising order and prosperity under their rule. In 1933, through a series of political maneuvers and backroom deals, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. It was a pivotal moment in German history. The Weimar Republic, already on shaky ground, had unwittingly opened the door to its own destruction. Hitler moved swiftly to consolidate his power. He outlawed other political parties, crushed opposition, and established a totalitarian state. The Nazis took control of every aspect of German life, from the media and education to the judiciary and the military. Germany was transformed into a one-party state, with Hitler as its absolute ruler, the Führer. His dream of a 1,000-year Reich had begun, but it would be a nightmare of unimaginable proportions.